that debt reduction is a shared responsibility. I hate it when I see, oh, there's going to be a team downstream that's going to clean it up when we're done. What's the motivation for us to ever do good, clean work if we like, we're going to throw it over the fence and they'll clean it up for us? No, everybody's doing technical debt reduction all the time. That to me is a big win. And then spirit of get the skills and get them in place and reinforce them. If you do it every day, you're going to get good at it again. It'll help you identify the high interest areas. If you're in the code making changes because you're putting in new customer features, it's a valuable place to be and a valuable place to be paying back debt. So it gives you some guidance on doing that. And of course, why would you go waste your valuable time in areas where it may never make sense to pay back debt? If I'm in the code making changes, it's important. I can put my time back. Please.
Also, anytime you touch the code, you run a risk.
Anytime you touch the code, you run a risk you're going to break it. If you're doing work in thing, you've already assumed the risk of touching the code. And so it makes sense to then add the refactoring. So refactoring an area you wouldn't touch, you're just adding risk.
And one more thing. For those of you who are sitting on a mountain of manual testing debt, what an excellent way to start incrementally addressing your lack of test automation. You're in the code anyway. You have to test it anyway because you're changing it. Why not start automating those pieces so you get the same alignment? Please.
What about having, so that you don't reduce velocity, having one team that's doing the product backlog that's being groomed and worked on by the product owner, and then having a backlog where the defects are, and then adding the technical debt there? Because there are some systems where those defects are more than, let's say, we want to have, but splitting off a team that becomes almost like the support team that their job is to keep those defects, correcting them, putting them into production, and then adding the technical debt there. And it's like you were saying, the railroad, the two tracks.
So there's a number of dimensions to that question. Right, first, let's remember debt is multidimensional. Defects is simply one aspect of debt. Right? It could just be poorly designed code, and we just want to refactor the code because there's a much better way to design it. But let's stay on the defect one for a moment because it's important to most companies, right, and what they're dealing with. First, I'm offering observations only at this point. Most companies that I visit won't do it. And they won't do it because it feels like paying for the same piece of real estate twice. See, I paid you guys to build the stuff. You tell me you want me to pay another team to clean up your mess? Feels like paying twice for the same territory. All right, and by the way, let's say we can get past that. All right, if I was going to do it, this is what I personally would have done. New feature development team over here, I'd have them running Scrum. Sustaining engineering team over here, I'd have them running Kanban. And then I would periodically do this. I would swap the teams. Right? Why? Because I do believe in that old adage, at some point you have to eat your own cooking. I need these guys over here to know, yeah, write crap if you want. But there's going to come a point in time when you move over here and you have to support it in the spirit of motivating the right behavior. Please.
Yeah, one way to address it is the
Unintentional debt.
I can't prevent unintentional debt.
You do when you clean it up. Like when you clean it up, you learn how to clean up stuff.
I can't prevent it, I can service it.
Well, one of the reasons people don't write unit tests is because they don't know how to in their code base.
That's naive technical debt.
Yeah, that's what I meant, the naive technical.
Oh.
Sorry, naive, I thought naive was unintentional.
No, unavoidable is exactly that. It's unavoidable. The vendor changed the API. Yeah.
Having another person clean up and you in no way hits naive technical debt, and so you're just continuing propagating the debt.
Where was the learning?
System.
Yeah, where was the learning of how to prevent putting those things in? So, but if a company, I mean, there are companies that do want to have a separate sustaining engineering team. For flow reasons, by the way, it makes sense. You have two streams of work and they flow in different ways. One is I can plan a couple weeks of work in a sprint, right? We have a backlog, we can prioritize it. Defects tend to be not that kind of flow, right? They're interrupt driven, and you want a more interrupt driven approach to handling, which is why a Kanban approach on that side might be a more sensible thing. So there are flow reasons why some companies would consider. So that was actually my last content slide. I just summarized what we just talked about. So I'll tell you what I'll do is we're finishing up. Let me go back to this because I will at the end raffle off the book and just remind anybody. I'm just going to go check there. So if you're interested, that's the website you would go to sign up. But we have, Rick, 5 minutes?
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Open it up for questions. Please, you got the mic back there? Yep. There we go.
I would say we're a little bit lacking so far as our buy-in on test-driven development or test coverage. So one thing we were kind of contemplating is since we should have probably bought in on that a little earlier, but we didn't. We were considering behavior-driven development instead of just going with straight TDD. Do you have any opinions on that? Any advice for us on how to get started?
Well, again, if you're going to try any of these techniques, I mean, you're probably going to read up on them and get some kind of training in them, right, to leverage people. I think it's, the unfortunate thing I'll see sometimes is that, you know, someone will dictate that they should go do it, which, by the way, shouldn't be the case, right? Scrum Masters or others don't dictate to their team what practices they should apply. The team should come up with it. But if the team decides they want to do it, then management steps in at that point to help them get capable of doing it. So if you guys want to do BDD or TDD, then get the people the necessary skills to do it, and so, you know, maybe even give them some coaching assistance to get them started with it, and see how it works in your organization, see if it's a win or not. But yeah, I'd at least help them get started, not just throw them into the fire. Other questions?
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. Quickly, I just want to mention all of the board members we have here. Alex, you want to stand up a second? We've got Joy, Rima, Donnie, where are you? Right here. In the back. Anyone else? Board? Okay, so these are our board members that work very hard, long weekends to make this possible. Thank you very much. And Joy has something to present to Ken. Joy?
Sure.
I did mention it, but I'm also going to try to get volunteers as soon as you finish. Or, excuse me, planning team.
I don't want to forget, we're having an event at Citrix in March on SAFE. You all heard about SAFE and scaling at the enterprise level. So we'll be hosting that at Citrix in Fort Lauderdale, Cypress Creek in 95. IBM will be the presenter, the speaker from there. And there's another event next month with Peter Borsal, which Rick will talk about later.
So go ahead.
Okay. So on behalf of the South Florida Agile Association, we'd like to present you this plaque. We're really honored that you came here today, and really thankful to Office Depot and to Eric for hosting this wonderful session for us.
Thank you.
I thank you all from Office Depot. Actually, Ken, we got some stuff for you here too.
I get swag.
You get swag.
If this is a Ferrari company, you bring it a Ferrari, but we're an office supply company.
Extra large.
Extra large.
Oh, thank you.
And the small, so this.
Very cool. Thank you.
Oh, one more thing, it's our new initiative this year. Green, we're pushing green.
Nice.
We've made big strides at Office Depot in actually helping our customers, not only doing it ourselves, but our customers, you know, energy efficient lighting and so forth. That's one of our new products. It's a thermos coffee mug or something. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Very nice. Thank you. Yeah, in fact, I'm having a hard time connecting, so I'll tell you what, you have the list of people who signed in?
Yes, I do.
Roughly how many people do we have?
We had like... It's in the back right there. Let's grab
I
it.
picked the name already. That one.
Oh, did you pick the name? Good one. So we can pick off that list right now? Is that?
Yeah, so, Jonathan, random number between 1 and 60, Jonathan.
The list is back. Yeah, the list is not. Just close your eyes and pick a number.
Some number?
Just count it so we can get down.
Just give me a random number between 1 and 60.
That's not bad.
What? 61. 61, I don't know, that's right.
Whoever didn't sign in,
Did anybody still need to sign it?
Yeah.
We signed your newsletter.
I went
No, I
on.
didn't.
I was having a hard time trying to connecting to find out who actually got there, which is the problem.
no, we
How many people actually went online to try and do this?
I couldn't
right.
find the link.
I couldn't find a web. Oh, the link was. Oh, on the website.
I couldn't, from.
Hang on.
the website.
Let me turn on the hub.
Sam,
If it's more.
when you go there.
Okay, as he's doing this, also reminder, we need a planning team for the Agile Tools Summit. Okay, so if you're interested in volunteering, this is the handout. We're looking at possibly 600 to 800 people that are going to be attending. So it's going to be a humongous conference for us. So please sign your name.
I already did.
You already did? Okay, no one else can. That's it.
On Tuesday.
All right,
I
terrific.
did on Tuesday.
Great, thank you.
So I'm just going to randomly pick 15 as the number. I'm going to log in. There was the 15th person who signed up.
Nice.
You're there. Let's see. Assuming I get the internet connection.
All right, who knows a good joke?
Yeah, sorry, I'm
How many
trying to.
Agilis does it take to change your life?